Let's get the conversation started this beautiful afternoon on the show. Taking a look at the recent China trip by President Bola Tinubu on the Asia Africa's summit that ended last week Friday in Beijing, China. And I have my two guests seated, a lecturer and an economist, Jimmy Oko, joining me in the studio. Good afternoon, Jimmy, and good to have you.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right. I have Benedict Ochago, an entrepreneur, someone who is also good at analyzing Nigeria's economy. Good afternoon, Ben. Good to have you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so before we start up the conversation, let me read out the take-home from President Bola Tinubu on that trip. President Bola Tinubu on Friday in Beijing, China, rounded off his official engagement in China by meeting with Nigerians living in the country, describing his visit as very successful. Addressing members of Nigerians in diaspora organization in China, the Nigerian community at the China World Hotel, the president emphasized his support to strengthen cooperation in infrastructure, trade, finance, energy, green economy, and mining during his discussion with President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang, and his participation at the 2024 summit on the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Highlighting the impact of investment in China's economy, President Bola Tinubu assured Nigerians in diaspora that Nigeria's Bank of Industry is prepared to collaborate with them to leverage opportunities back home. Nigeria is going through reforms and we are taking it very bold and unprecedented decisions. For example, you might have been hearing from home in the last few days about fuel prices. What is the critical part of us to get that if we cannot take hard decisions to pave way for the country that is blessed and so talented? So many of you are so talented, speaking very fluent Mandarin, and it is what you contribute and tell them at home that will reflect their attitude of our people. The more you want everything free, it will become more expensive and long delayed to achieve a meaningful development, the president stated. To applaud the audience, President Tinubu stated that one key takeaway from the visit to China is the commitment to replicate China's infrastructure back home in Nigeria. He also stated that one economic action leads to another, and it is your hands to build our nation. Mine is to provide the leadership, and I'm committed to doing just that, the president finally stated. Some of the bilateral agreements signed during the summit include bilateral currency swap agreement, infrastructure development agreement, and we also have the power generation agreement, mining and solid minerals cooperation, and technology and communications agreement, cultural exchange and education agreement, agricultural cooperation agreement. All right. So these were some of the offtake, the statement from the president assuring Nigerians in China that he is going to replicate what they have over there back home in Nigeria. I think we're going to start up with that before we go in details with some of the agreement that was signed, if they are hope to that. So, Jimmy, I'll be starting off with you. That statement, replicating what they have over there in China, back home in Nigeria, do you think, as an economist that you are, that that is something we can realize as a nation?
All right, thank you very much, my brother. I think I would have accepted it if the president did his visit and just quietly returned home.
Why
instead
would you
of
say
making
that?
some bogus statements that are not realizable, that are far from his reach.
Okay.
We are trying to give fake hope to Nigerians, and that seems not to be going towards end at all, as far as this government is concerned. Where did Chinese government visit to replicate to have the development you went to see? Okay. Where did they go? Did they visit America, Germany to have the level of development they enjoy today? No. It means that the government, we are not Chinese.
Yeah, we are Nigerians.
Yeah, we are Nigerians. We are different people. We have different environment. We have different resources.
African countries,
yes,
they are two different people.
We have that. So everything the government needs to fix Nigeria, to make Nigeria good, is here in Nigeria.
Okay.
Are you going to need Chinese to come to build the roads? Yes. Would you need the Chinese government to build the Bini Asaba road?
But we have so many of the Chinese companies working in Nigeria,
yes.
The CECC and all that.
Fine. What they do, there's something we must understand.
Okay.
That there is no country in the world that wants to go into relationship with another because they don't want to benefit to help
Absolutely.
You. The Chinese government will never come to Nigeria to come and help Nigeria. They are coming for what they will benefit.
Absolutely.
So in the process, what is ideal is that the Nigerian government should be thinking of what do we do to make our environment, to make our circle attracting the Chinese businessmen. Because whether you like it or not, an average Chinese is a businessman.
Absolutely, they are
so when he's moving, he's looking at what he's going to get.
Thinking is what he will get.
So our businessmen all over the world, they behave this way. They go to where they are attracted, where they will make profits. Where they will make money. Yes. So if you make Nigeria to be attractive to businesses, to industrialization, you make industrialization-friendly policies.
Absolutely.
Then these people on their own will just start coming.
Just come on their own.
Did Bola Ahmed Tinubu had to go to China to sign agreement before we started having Chinese companies coming to construct roads here? He didn't have to.
Absolutely.
The companies are everywhere.
Yeah.
They're even writing applications to different state government, national governments.
To bid for contracts.
Yes, we need contracts because they want to get something. So all you need to do is to help your country, put some things in place to ensure that it attracts businessmen all over the world. I also I am of the, I don't know whether to join, anyways, people who are thinking that the journey, the visit to China by President Tinubu may not have been fully disclosed.
Okay.
Yes, because all the things we have seen, then discussed, talk about, these are the takeouts, all of that. There are things that ordinarily you don't need to go anywhere for.
Travel to China to get those
and two, you know, ideally, it is a bitter truth for us to accept that when you are in a situation where you see one person die, if it's going to take you to kill 20 to save that one, then you leave that one to die.
Okay.
A bitter truth.
Absolutely.
That is the rule that governs all economy, matching resources and costs.
Okay.
Now, you look at President Bola Tinubu's entourage.
That went
to China.
A whole lot of persons
does that send a message?
Senate president or many ministers.
Does that send a message about a person who wants to fix the economy, who understands economies? Okay. No. It means that the signals I got from it when I saw the whole thing,
the entourage,
it's like a government that probably doesn't even understand what is happening outside.
Okay.
I think the president and his people have not been guided on exactly what Nigeria needs at the time.
Problem.
Yes, because if you really understand that, number one, if at all you're going to need to travel to China, it won't be that huge number. What did they go there to do?
Absolutely.
Other than going to greet the president when he arrived.
Like jamboree.
All of that. It's jamboree, actually. So what's the number going there for? And two, the things, if there was need that the president should go to China for us to develop,
you should just go
then it should be there. Let's say
the Minister of Finance or the Minister of Coordinating Economy. Just go with him.
Yes. Or secretary to the government
of the Federation.
Then jot down some things where even if the minister does not go, what they have agreed, what they discussed there, all of that, it must not be signed like that.
Immediately.
Everybody must go before you sign anything. Okay, these are the areas where we want to cooperate. Then you bring it home, then you now call the cabinet, please let us study
Look
this.
at it.
These are what the Chinese government has offered. They want us to cooperate with them like this. Then these people, the professionals will now be engaged to come and discuss this.
Professionals of your type, the economist.
It mustn't be me, but they are professionals
of your type. That's the essence of your type.
Okay, so by the time you make a discussion, then from there the president will now know to say, okay, this is what we are going to do.
Okay.
So it's not about tell the president to disclose how much
they
was
spent on the trip.
On that trip, you see how unreasonable it was.
All right, Benedict Ochiago, you've been so calm. I know you have your own reservations and thoughts on this. He said he's going to replicate what they have in China back home in Nigeria. He even made mention of the fuel price hike that is still biting hard on Nigerians and so many infrastructural development he feels he is working on that he's going to replicate same. Would your thoughts be different from that of Jimmy Oko's?
Slightly.
Okay.
Jimmy has really dealt with so many things, and he has articulately, analyzed a lot of things concerning the president's trip, which is truth. There are not so much you can take away from what he has said
Okay.
because he has said basically the truth. But I would like to also say that the president traveling to China is not totally a waste of time
Okay.
because number one is an China African
China-African
summit.
summit. It's not just for
It's not just
Nigeria.
about Nigeria alone.
Absolutely.
And for such kind of summit, you have opportunity to interact with a
With
lot of
other
heads
world
of states
leaders,
that ordinarily you may not have the time to travel one to
one
those
after the
states one
other.
of them. So such kind of summit gives an opportunity for sides talks, for a kind of bilateral talks between two other nations
Yeah.
other than China. So those are the benefits that comes from things like that. But like Jimmy was raising concerns, my concern is that Nigeria going to China right now is going as a disadvantaged entity, highly desperate.
Why would you say so?
Yeah, definitely the indices are there.
Okay.
We going there, and it's always a very dangerous thing to go on a negotiation table,
Yeah.
presumably an disadvantaged person, because the other person will take advantage of you.
Okay.
And again, when you are going, Nigeria is in a desperate state, and my fear is that any kind of bilateral agreement, bilateral signage that Nigeria will be having with China right now will be out of desperation.
Okay.
And like Jimmy said, China, they are not in because they like you.
Yeah.
And that's why I like China. China will complain that this is why we are here. Unlike the West,
they will tell you what they are
unlike
here for.
America and Europe, that will come as if they are coming to help you for
Like
nothing.
your friends.
Yeah, they are coming as a friend. Meanwhile, they are enemies.
Okay.
But China comes plainly. This is why we are here. This is why we are here. But my fear also for any deal with China is that it comes with a lot of dangerous packages,
Okay.
a lot of dangerous undertones that when you are desperate like Nigeria is desperate right now,
Yeah.
you may be forced to sign certain things that eventually the nation will suffer for.
Absolutely.
And I was so happy when Jimmy made the instance of you don't just go and sign. You will go there, the Chinese government will bring their proposal.
Okay.
And then you collate it and bring it before your cabinet and bring it before the expert for proper analysis and check the areas and check the undertones and check the hidden lines to be able to give it proper analysis before you will sign. But Nigeria don't do that because we need money.
No, absolutely.
They want money. And then again, I want to say here that in as much as we need other nations to assist, but the truth is that Nigeria will only develop when they come back home.
Okay.
You cannot have a nation that is running between 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts of electricity, and you are talking about development. Nigeria is not ready for development.
Okay.
And so all the money they used for all that kind of bogus overhead costs and all that, if you channel that, if President Tinubu will channel his effort to increase the Nigerian megawatt from 4,000 or 5,000 to 20,000 to 30,000.
They also had an agreement on power generation.
Listen,
we'll get
it's
there.
not an agreement. We are not talking about agreement. We are talking about what did Egypt do within a short
period of time.
You understand? To increase their power supply.
Generation.
What did South Africa do? A population of about 60 million people to have so much megawatt that is even almost equating about maybe 1 million to 1 megawatt and all of that. You understand? What did they do? What did a country like Rwanda do? It's not about agreement. It's about action. So if any government like the government of President Tinubu is ready for development, because we're in dire need of production right now.
Okay.
So if we are ready for development, we have to come to generate power. Listen, we don't need, like Jimmy was saying, we don't need to be running to countries abroad. We have a very strong advantage here. We're a country of over 200 million people. If we get it right in terms of power, in terms of security, the other country will be running to us because we have already made markets.
Okay.
You get. So you cannot be having issue with the likes of Dangotes. You cannot be having issue with the likes of Air Peace. having issues with other.
And these are the drivers of the economy.
Your home, the developers of the economy within your country, the local people that are supposed to naturally have advantage.
Having issues with them.
You cannot really be scorning them, hand twisting them. Because the international community, they are watching.
Absolutely.
Every businessman that want to invest where he will get return on investment. He's not investing because he just want to be running around.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. These people have people who take feasibility studies. They make analysis of what are the business already there. What is the body language of the business already there. You cannot have a nation where even small businesses, the SMEs are folding up, and you are saying you want to attract foreign investment. It's a joke.
Okay.
So now, and again, saying you want China to come and sponsor this and sponsor that, I don't have a problem with that. As long as you're able to read in between the line and know that you are not signing things that will destroy your country. Because China is always out for that. And they come very plain. That's why I like them as well. You get. Yeah, so you also have to be very, very smart. So if we can come back home, for example, we are saying we don't have money. If every money that comes from crude oil comes to the federal government, to government's coffer, that they're able to monitor the crude oil like what I think Saudi Arabia did. They set up technology that monitor the movement of
know how many barrels that leave your country on a daily basis.
Whatever way it leaves, and how they set up a technology to do that, that everything comes to the government coffer. If we're able to do that in the next 4 years, we'll have so much. If we're able to make sure that every gold that leaves of Zamfara, Meduguri, and every onis and magnesium and all those things that we take, it goes to the government coordinators and returns back to government. We have so much money. Okay. So our problem basically is within. We have a problem of insecurity. We have a problem of power and corruption to cap it all. Because they just basically go to borrow and come to share it. There is no.
We wouldn't really say that. But it seems to be like what it is, but we don't have
President Buhari ruled for 8 years borrowing.
And it was same China he was actually running to borrow.
He not just China, he went to
majorly China,
banking,
he went to the bank
and all of that. President Buhari was known for borrowing. And today, when has that led to Nigeria?
And this administration have also been borrowing.
We accrued more debt with no infrastructural development.
To show for it.
So it is basically about bringing the money and squander it because we don't have a clear-cut roadmap. So we must have something within. We must come back home.
All right.
We have the ability within us, but coordination and accountability is the problem we are having.
Okay. Thank you very much for that thought. And I still have my guest seated, Jimmy Oko, a lecturer and an economist, and I have Benedict Ochagu, an entrepreneur. We're taking a look at the China visit by President Bola Tinubu, the Asia-African Summit, the take-home, the economic gains, what we're going to gain out of it. We've laid the foundation and the bedrock to the conversation. Let's now outline some of the agreements that were signed one after the other and see how beneficial it's going to be to us as a nation. So, Jimmy, I'll start off with you with the first bilateral agreement. As an economist that you are, you understand the principle better than any other person does. We have the bilateral currency swap agreement, which was one of the agreements they signed. So, do you see this as another means to which they want to devalue the Nigerian currency more, coupled with the way it has been right now? We know the exchange rate between Naira, dollar, pounds, and other foreign currencies. Is there a fear we should have over this bilateral currency swap agreement that was signed during the summit?
A man who has fallen has nothing to fear. Because when you are on the ground, you're
already on the ground.
You know where you are. So the thing is, although the currency swap, ideally, is the knowledge behind something like that is to enable the two countries boost their trade
agreements.
Yes. And the meaning of that is that even if you have to pay so much naira to get something from the US, pay so much naira to get something from other countries, even though we understand that dollar is kind of the world currency. Or world trade activities, that this was saying, okay, we have an agreement now to make our own difference. We'll be able to use we'll moderate our own. We'll not subject it to the international indices that are controlling naira, dollar, Chinese, whatever. So we are going to make us different. so that we'll be able to, you will not be scared to do more businesses with us as you would be, ordinarily be scared doing with America when the naira to dollar is increasing. But the only problem with that is that it will not help a country that is not producing. That remains the indices.
So obviously you're saying we are not a producing country.
It means that that thing, the more of the advantages that will go to China.
We go to China, not Nigeria.
Yes. How many things do Chinese
produce?
government buy from Nigeria on a yearly basis?
Crude oil.
So in most cases, it is the facilities we have here that you see made in China everywhere.
Yeah, almost everything.
So it will only create an opportunity to flood Nigeria with more of Chinese products. Except that the Nigeria now, knowing where we are lacking, the area of infrastructure, we can now seize that opportunity now as we do to capitalize on that to bring more of technological facilities that will help to quicken our own growth, developmental growth. But the thing is, will this government be able to do that? Are we going to be able to use this window to import all of those technologies? Because that is where China is really ahead. Technology for agriculture. Technology for this, all of that. So if we are going to be able to do that and ensure that in every local government in Nigeria, that there are enough machines to help mechanize farming. So it goes to that extent. But whether the government will be able to take advantage of that is another. Why the Nigerian government, for a responsible government, why the Nigerian government will be looking at where to capitalize on getting technological items from China, the Chinese government will be sitting, looking for where to pump all their products
into the Nigerian market.
See the garri that we eat into the Nigerian market. So it means that it's going to be very big fight for Nigeria to say, okay, yes, all the things we eat, we will not be able to, we cannot be fast enough using the crude system to do it. Let us capitalize on the area of technology as fast as possible. We'll use this opportunity to get more from this because of the exchange rate that is going to be relatively stable between the two countries.
The two countries, absolutely.
That is ordinarily what that area will give us. But unfortunately, the government that we have, let us tell ourselves the truth and admit it the way it is. Are you sure that this same federal government will be able to take such advantage? If you ask me, because we do not just say something, we judge with figures of the past.
Facts.
When you check all the figures, everything that have happened before, a government that has borrowed money from outside the country, at least no opportunity can be better than that. You have been giving loan to do something.
To do something in your country.
And repeatedly you failed using it to do
what you're supposed to use it for.
So it means that the same government is likely not to be able to use such opportunity. And if we are not able to use it, it means it will further impoverish us. The Chinese will take the larger advantage of it.
Okay, Benedict, let's go to the second one, which is the Infrastructural Development Agreement. Like I said earlier, we see more of the Chinese company building roads in Nigeria. We have a lot of them. Even here, we have a lot of them in Benin. You know, Chinese companies seem to have flooded Nigeria in terms of building roads, constructing of roads, and bigger infrastructure. They signed an infrastructural agreement. Do we see a better light ahead in days to come that this agreement that is signed, if it's respected or it's followed to the fullest, we're going to see more infrastructural development as a nation?
Well, the thing is that if well followed and implemented, China have the capacity, they have that track record of infrastructural development, especially on their home soil. So, and then again, China also have the track record of giving you what you want. If you want inferior, they give you.
If you want original, they give you. Absolutely.
And it's quite disheartening because sometimes you find elements in Nigeria going for the inferior, at the expense
Because
of
it's
the
cheaper a little
general.
bit.
Well, it's not a matter of the cost; it's a matter of what individuals will get.
Okay.
So now having this kind of infrastructural bilateral agreement,
Agreement.
it will really augur well.
Okay.
But also it boils down to where we channel that infrastructure to. Because if the infrastructures come and the approval of the infrastructures is based on it should go to my village
Yeah. You should go to
as
my
the Senate
constituency.
president, as the president, it should go to my house. You are not looking at the general
The generality of Nigeria as a
well-being.
state.
That if we want to do rail, for example, a
Yeah,
railway, for
yeah.
example, if the rail moves from here to here, how is it going to
Impact
improve
economically.
you understand,
Yeah, in that
agricultural development,
Yeah.
in terms of when the people produce, moving the products
To the
from one place to
market.
another.
Yeah.
So those are the things we have to look at. We are also going to look at, in terms of movement of people from one place to another, how are we going to improve it? If it's on that basis, then it will be tending towards economic development. But if it becomes a kind of to maybe settle my family because I'm the Senate president, I'm
the Speaker of the House of
Speaker of the House of
Representatives,
Rep,
I'm
the
the
Chief
SSA
of
to the
Staff,
President.
SSA to
Yeah.
and then you are not taking recourse to the fact that we are talking about development here, then it becomes at the end nothing.
For personal
but,
jamboree.
but again, I want to also say that at what cost is the infrastructural development coming?
Okay.
Because those are the things. So that at the end, we will not have infrastructural development at the expense of our future as a nation.
That's true.
We are a growing nation in terms of population.
Yeah.
And we must be very, very careful of what we sign and what we don't sign.
Absolutely.
Nigeria, the president went to China and agreed and adopted the one China,
The China
policy
model, yeah.
that America is against. And you know what implication that will
That we
bring.
have.
So those are the things. So I don't really, I believe that at this time, because of the precarious nature of our economy and everything, we need to be very careful in terms of our diplomatic ties, diplomatic moves, because America
Bilateral relations.
Yeah, bilateral relations. America will begin to raise dust.
Absolutely.
Don't also forget that we don't know the actual root of insecurity in the
northeast. Not like in the north, now it's the entire country.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
In the entire country.
It's everywhere.
So the West might further want to cause more insecurity to send a strong message.
True.
And we have not been able to handle the ones
The
that
one we
been
have
caused.
already.
You understand? So all of those things we must be very, very careful. So I feel that instead of all of these bilateral this thing, China should come and do construction for us. I also believe that we can get the money.
Yeah.
And use the money locally.
Indigenous.
Because if the Chinese are coming, they are coming with their machine, they are coming with their workforce.
You're paying higher.
You understand? They are coming with their workforce. You pay higher for the workforce.
Absolutely.
But when you collect the money and maybe get the machine at a consensus price from them, and then you use the local workforce, it will be cheaper. And then you'll be able. But again, because they don't trust us because of corruption, they will not want to release such amount of money. They want to know where it's going
and
because you will have
monitor.
to pay. You get. So all of these things are the things that we are looking at. Sometimes when you talk about Nigeria, it's like an horror film, an horror movie, where sometimes you are afraid to even look at some certain scene because it is quite disheartening.
It's scary.
It's very, very scary. There are a lot of political statements that is made about the economy.
Absolutely.
Nigeria, I was listening to the Minister of Finance.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was listening to him, very intelligent man, talking about the fact that they are in the right direction and all of that. And the right direction is...
When you say very intelligent and the common man does not see the intelligent player, it's not intelligent.
You see, one of the things we do, especially in the past 8 years, especially the APC government, is that they bring intelligent people and make them dumbs. Because they are building cartel that sometimes does not represent the Nigerian people.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that I'm not trying to discredit APC in its entirety right now. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is that they have intelligent people, but you must give those people free hand to work.
Transform your intelligence
to
reality.
There are areas where you don't bring politics into especially
economy.
When it comes to the economy. Let the people that understand the economy
security shouldn't be politicized.
Handle all of these things. And I think the APC has failed in that regard. Okay. And I still believe that President Tinubu will get it right. Honestly, I still believe that he has the capacity to get it right. If he is able to fight corruption, if he is able to sanitize and all of these bogus expenditures running overhead, the recurrent project
recurrent
is
projects
always
and all
higher
that.
than capital projects. And if he's able to
And no nation
downsize-
develop when your recurrent expenditure is higher than your capital
because
expenditure.
you keep borrowing to service human beings,
Exactly.
to buy this,
To buy this, to buy
Nigeria is
presidential
a place
jet and
where
buy this.
you borrow money to buy buses, buses that will be recycled in
Yeah,
next
in
4
the
years
next
or 8
years.
years. So there are a lot of things that a lot of mismanagement of resources
Absolutely
that we
true.
really need to come back home. If not, we'll have all the money
Yeah.
and we'll squander
Squander
it.
it.
Individuals will become richer.
And
Individuals will be more powerful than
the
institutions,
government.
which is what we have been seeing in Nigeria since
And it has been playing
1999.
out.
Yeah, it has been happening since 1999,
Okay.
where we have individuals more powerful
Yeah,
than the state,
the
more
state.
powerful than institutions. And we must deal with that if we must develop.
Okay. Jimmy Oko, we hinted on power generation or power capacity. He hinted on that while we're on the opening thought. Another agreement that was signed was the power generation agreement. Nigeria right now stands on a 5,000 megawatt power generation. Nigeria, not Edo State, Nigeria. And the Minister of Power came out recently, Adebayo Adelabu. He said it is shameful that a country like Nigeria is still grappling with 5,000 megawatts, not giga, not tera. We're still doing mega when some countries are doing tera and gigawatts. So another agreement that was signed is the power generation agreement. Do you think with this agreement, we're going to get it right in terms of power generation? Because like you said earlier, if you fix electricity first, you fixed almost 50% of the Nigerian problem. That's the truth. Because the SME on the street, to cut hair now, you know how much it costs to cut your hair as it stands right now. Because there's no electricity, all of them run with gen and you have to buy fuel for 1,200 naira per liter. So do you see this power agreement as an agreement that will bring light to the Nigerian power sector in the next days to come?
Well, it was beautiful to see an agreement signed in the area of power.
Yeah.
But it will be far more beautiful when the methodologies are rolled out,
Okay.
how it's going to take effect.
Yeah.
Whether the president went there to agree with the Chinese government that we want you to support us to build power plants.
Yeah. Whether mini grid.
Yes, we are going to pay back in so and so ways.
Time.
Then that will be realistic now.
Yeah.
We'll now know, okay, yes, that was the agreement.
Yeah.
But if the agreement is any of your investors that can come around and invest like this, we are going to accommodate like this, all of that. That's also a step, but step of the snail. Because we will not see reality.
Step of the snail.
Yeah.
That's very slow.
Yes, because we will not see, it is almost impossible to imagine that. It is a beautiful thing because the Chinese are known for such projects.
They are good at those.
They are good at those
That's
projects,
what they are into.
But the thing is, I would have, you don't run government by accidents. That's my worry.
You have to prepare.
Yes, that's my worry. You don't run government by accidents. Even before President Tinubu
Came on
traveled,
board.
before he traveled to China,
Before he went to China.
it would have been expected that you have these things in mind. This is where I want to beg for assistance when I get to China.
Yeah.
Because after the meeting there, we saw a prolonged discussion between him
And the
and
president,
the Chinese
Xi
president.
Jinping.
Because it was almost like Nigeria,
After
China
the summit.
matter.
Yeah, it was no longer like Asia, African
It
Cooperation
was almost like
Summit.
Nigeria, China matter.
Yeah.
And the Chinese are aware of one thing. That if you are able to capture the Nigerian market, you have captured Africa.
They know the power of numbers.
Yes, you have captured
Being
Africa.
the highest in population in Africa.
Yes. As a matter of fact, discussing with Tinubu is to the Chinese president discussing with the whole of Africa.
Africa entirely.
Yes, that was the respect Tinubu got there. You see the welcome.
Yeah, the welcome was
everything.
massive. They
There
picture
was no
scrolled
other
recently on the
African
screen.
president got
Yeah,
that.
got that welcome.
It is they seeing Tinubu as the president represents the whole
More
of
like
Africa.
the president of Africa has
Yes.
come to Asia.
So, and that is because these people know what number is.
Yeah.
They've already projected what is going to come in once we're able to get this.
Capture.
But the thing is, we talk about power just now.
Yeah.
before President Tinubu traveled, if he has outlined this is it's a vital area where I need Chinese to do this, then should have been by now. It would have been done with preparations.
Okay.
There's going to be a plant in Benin City, so place.
Yeah.
There's going to be a plant like this.
So
We want to work out
modalities.
6 plants, power plants in Nigeria.
Okay.
In this and this. What we need is just people to help us set it up. We don't have the money. This is why we have come to China. The Nigerians will get a clearer picture
of what
that you are going to do an agreement. Okay, yes, now that the agreement has been signed, I know that very soon I'm going to see work going on.
Okay.
But by the time, many agreements have been signed.
A whole lot of agreements. A whole lot.
So you go out.
Even from the Buhari's administration.
They are signed. 20 years,
they are still there.
We have forgotten them. So the thing, it would have been a very beautiful thing because power is actually what we need now. But another thing I would have also, which is very close to power issue, was that if the president is trying to run a very genuine government, should have also, I think the problem of federal government is that they have not been able to build one refinery. It should have at least.
Should we say build or maintain what we have? Because we have 4 that has been built by the military administration.
Let's say maintain.
So let's say maintain. Or working to optimal capacity.
Yes.
Maintain the one we have.
The federal government has not been able to maintain one.
Yeah.
I think it should have been good.
But the Port Harcourt will come on stream in September.
I think it should have been good to hear the president say it to Chinese investors. Please, this area, come and invest. We are ready to give you space. Just do refinery like this. All we want to see is come and help refine in the Nigerian soil.
Let's buy at a lower rate.
No problem.
Yeah.
So all of those things would have been ways to work the magic in our economy.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that sincerity is not there. Try to even compare that with what is happening to Dangote
with the
now.
Dangote saga
you see that even while Nigerians have been praying, what Nigerians saw and said, oh, there's a little sign of relief here. The government came at the end. After battling, not giving him crude, all of that. After we have passed there for the little that they gave him, the government still came from the other end and said no.
Even as at this moment, I'm hearing the news now that they said they want NNPC said they want to build an office inside the refinery to monitor the activities.
You get that because they do not want a drop of oil to move from there to
somewhere else.
And not until it goes to marketers directly, then the Nigerian people are not enjoying the benefits of the refinery. So there are so many other things that should have been tied to that. But on the meantime, we can say signing agreement with Chinese to help us in the area of power is good. But the government should also go further by disclosing to the Nigerian people. Having signed this is when so and so thing is taking off. This is the reality of the agreement. They are coming to, we have told them to come and help us build this. We are going to pay them back in this.
What you are
we have only told the president to help us convince his investors to come and do this. Let us know the area. So that Nigeria can now start having hope and say, okay, yes, it's going to happen or it's not going to happen.
And look at the time it's going to happen. There should be a time frame.
Look at the time it's going to happen. All of those ones. I think there's need for such clarifications.
All right. But Benedict, as we wrap up, because we are pressed for time, we'll be leaving anytime soon. Now, there's also the Mining and Solid Mineral Corporation. You mentioned mining recently at the opening. Do you think this is going to put an end to the whole illegal mining happening, especially in the Northwest, Zamfara especially? Because that seemed to be the headquarters of the whole gold and mining, where you see illegal miners. At a point, some of them are trapped where they are mining and they die. So this agreement, would we have a hope that in the next days to come, we're going to see a boost in the mining sector as we begin to wrap up?
Who are those benefiting from illegal mining?
You're asking me.
So, like I have always said that the solution to our problem is within. And will always be within.
All right.
But also, you see, the government must always try to take bilateral measures. Although some of them are jamborees. But the government must make move. And this time around, it is in the area of mining, curbing illegal mining, and all of that. No matter what the external force comes to help you do, within you must have political will to be able, you must have political will to be able to deal with those that default within the system.
Yeah.
Because illegal mining will not be successful if elements that are backed by government are not
By the
involved.
states are not
By the
involved.
states
Yeah.
are not involved.
Absolutely.
So these are the things, because I feel personally that at this time, Nigeria has gotten to a cycle of corruption
Yeah.
where the best we can do for ourselves is to tell ourselves the truth. Because where else? Well, how much are you going to cover?
Yeah.
We have to begin to tell ourselves the truth that this is where it is, this is where it is. People should be dealt with the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
People should be used as scapegoat. People, the insecurity happening in Zamfara is as a result of the illegal mining.
That's true.
They needed to cause insecurity and scare people away so that
They'll have time
way
to go and do
what
their
they are
illegal
doing.
businesses.
In Meduguri, it's
Same
because of
thing.
natural
Resources.
The insurgents of Boko Haram and
Yeah.
all of that is on record.
Okay.
So these are the things. It's about, because I believe that we have the natural resources to revamp our economy. If we can really block the loopholes and ensure that everything that is coming in is coordinated by government and used for the benefit of the people. Because Nigeria is rich in terms of resources.
Both human resources and everything.
Translating those resources into capital that is useful to you and I
becomes a problem.
It becomes the problem.
Okay.
And that is because of corruption.
Yeah.
That is because of mismanagement.
Yeah.
That is because of lack of leadership.
Absolutely.
Strong will
Yeah.
to handle things. So if we can really develop the strong will and provide leadership, like President Tinubu said, that his own is to provide leadership. Although I disagree with that aspect, because you don't shift the blame to the people.
the people. You are the leader.
The simple culture we learn in social studies, especially in primary and secondary school, culture flows from head to down. So,
Yeah.
but now he is saying that the culture should flow.
It is
from
what you
bottom
see your
to the
parents
up.
doing as a child.
You understand?
That you have to
So, but
emulate.
the president is saying the culture should flow from
down,
bottom.
top
So
to
that
bottom.
is a misplacement right now. But I believe that provided that aspect of providing leadership is accurate.
Okay.
If he is able to provide strong leadership,
Absolutely.
then we may just get it right before.
All right, we're really pressed for time because I'm already getting signal from my presentation director that we'll have to go. I really want to thank the both of you for your insight and your time on the show this afternoon. Thank you very much, Jimmy Oko, for being a part of the program. And thank you, Benedict Ochago, for being a part of the program. That's how far we can go on the show this beautiful Friday afternoon, looking at the prospect, the gains from the visit of President Bola Tinubu to China. We just hope and see that this agreement, bilateral relations will continue to play out positively for the Nigerian state. On behalf of the entire team, those behind camera that make sure the show was a success this afternoon. But thank you for your time, for being a part of the show. I'm Lawrence Osifo saying see you again. Bye for now.